Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back, dear students, to a commercial subjects group for level 2. We are still in chapter 13 in accounting 111, and our subject today is talking about how to prepare the balance sheet. Today we are going to learn the layout of the balance sheet and how to prepare a classified balance sheet. If you remember, we have talked about the three important financial statements, which are income statement, statement of owner's equity, and the balance sheet. We said these three statements are linked together, so we have to prepare them one by one. In the previous lessons, we have learned how to prepare the income statement. Then we learned how to make the statement of owner's equity, and today inshallah we are going to learn how to prepare the balance sheet. Let's have a quick review on the last lessons. In the first lesson we learned how to prepare the income statement, and we said it is a report. It should be prepared for a period of time like end of the month or end of the year. We should list the revenues and the expenses in this statement in order to find if the company is making net income, which means profit, or facing net loss, which is losing money. Then we learned how to prepare the second statement, which is the owner's equity statement, and this is step 2. We learned that it is a report as well, and we should prepare it in the same period that the income statement was prepared. Then, in the statements of owner equity, we should study the change in the owner's equity, which is the capital, and we want to list the events that will increase the capital and the events that will decrease the capital in order to calculate the ending capital here. And this amount we are going to use today in the balance sheet. Before we start our lesson, I want you to sit in a quiet place, hold your calculator, and bring a piece of paper with a pen to solve the exercises with me. First, if you remember, we have talked about the basic accounting equation. We said it is the assets equals liability plus owner equity. We said this formula should be balanced, which means this side should be equal to this side. And this is the whole idea of the balance sheet. We want to make sure that the balance sheet is balanced by applying this formula. In this lesson, we are going to learn that the assets are classified into current assets and fixed assets. The current assets are short-term assets that used in the company or in the business for 1 year or less than 1 year, like cash or supplies. The fixed assets are long-term assets, which means they stay in the business or in the company for more than 1 year, like buildings or motor. What is balance sheet? Balance sheet is the statements that refers to the financial position at the close of business period by classifying the balance sheet. And today I'm going to emphasize on the classifying of the balance sheet because we are going to learn how to do it. First, we will talk about the format of balance sheet. It comes in two formats. The first format is the horizontal format. As you can see here, we are listing the assets in the left side, and we are listing the liabilities and the owner equity in the right side. We want to make sure that the assets equal to the liabilities plus the owner equity. And we want to list the assets by classifying it into current assets and fixed assets. The aim of the balance sheet is to make sure that this formula is balanced. We will take the total of the assets here, both the current and the fixed, and we will add the total amount of equity and the total amount of liability. Here we will add the total of both of them, and we will check that these amounts are equal. If it is equal, then the balance sheet is balanced, and this formula is balanced. The second format of the balance sheet is the vertical format, which means we are listing the assets and the liability with the owner equity all in one line. So the formula will be applied like assets equal liability plus owner's equity. And we want to make sure the same concepts, that the total assets, current and fixed assets, are equal to the total of liabilities with owner equity. If these totals are equal to each other, then our balance sheet is balanced, and we have successfully applied this formula. Moving to activity number 1, which is the first activity here, we have the following balances that were extracted from the book of Osama. This is the name of the company, and this balances were extracted in the date of April 13th, 2019. We have here cash, account receivable, supplies, prepaid insurance, machines, equipment, accounts payable, unearned service revenue, and here we have ending capital. This ending capital was brought from step 2 of the financial statement, which is the statement of owner's equity. So the requirement of the question is to prepare balance sheet for April 13th, 2019. So in this activity we are going to prepare only the balance sheet, because they already have given us the ending capital from the statement of owner's equity. So first we will try to solve the balance sheet together. The layout of this balance sheet is obviously horizontal, because we are listing the assets in the left side and the liabilities with the owner equity in the right side. Now we want to make sure that this formula is balanced. In order to make this balance sheet balanced, we will start first with listing the current assets, which are the short-term assets. We have here cash, we have account receivable, supplies, prepaid insurance, and we are going to calculate the total of this amount to get this total of current assets. Now we will list the fixed assets, which are machines and equipment, and we will calculate the total of these two amounts to get the total of fixed assets. In order to get the total assets, we have to add both the current assets total and the fixed asset total, and to get the total assets of both of them. These amounts are brought from this balance. We are not bringing any information from anywhere, just from these balances that were given in the question. Then we will move to the current liabilities. We will list them, which are the accounts payable, unearned service revenue, and we will get the total of these two to get the total current liabilities. Moving to the owner's equity, we will list the entries here. We have the ending capital that was brought from the statement of owner's equity, and we will list the total of it because we only have the ending capital here. We will add these two amounts together to get the total of liabilities and owner's equity, and these two amounts are equal, as you can see, which means our balance sheet is balanced. Like this, we have solved this activity by balancing these two amounts. Moving to the second activity, we have here balances of Dana Company. It is in the period of December 31st, 2019. They want us to prepare the financial statements, which means the three financial statements that we have talked about. The period that we should prepare them is December 31st, 2019. They give us this trial balance of Dana Company, and this is the period of December 31st, 2019. They give us all these balances here, and they want us to make the financial statement. First of all, we will start off the first